What are you doing to keep your people? I mean, really doing. What are you doing to keep your people, to attract them to stay a little bit longer in that role? Now, too many managers that I talk to, they will immediately go to, well, we do pay increases every year. But then when I look at the budget, they have pay increases of just 2 to 3%. That's not a carrot on a stick. That's not any kind of incentive that's out there that somebody's going to stay for. I'm not going to stick around another 6 months just so I can get a cost of living adjustment, which is what 2 to 3% is. It's not a raise, it's a cost of living adjustment. They can buy the exact same bread, milk, and eggs that they bought last year because their rent went up and sucked up that 2 to 3%. So, what are the real incentives that we're putting out there? What is it that we can dangle in front of folks that will keep them a little bit longer? Now, if we think about advancement opportunities, that's a great way to do it. We can give people an advancement in their skills, their knowledge, their network, all of those different types of advancement that we have talked about. We can do that in a slow pace that allows them to grow a little bit at a time. And then as soon as they're up to speed on one thing, we've got a new opportunity for advancement in front of them to learn and grow. We can also get very creative about putting some of those carrots out there that are very valuable to our staff. Even if it might not be valuable to you, your staff may have very different priorities. In fact, one of my clients realized that their low wage workers weren't getting oil changes. Now, these folks were making $10 to $12 an hour, and he realized that they had a lot of car trouble. They were coming in late or not at all because of that car trouble. And then when he asked them about getting oil changes, he found out they just don't because they're worried about keeping their lights on and getting enough food for the month and other basic necessities. An oil change is a nice to have for those folks. So he went down the street and partnered with an oil change place not too far from his organization. He said, hey, if I give you 50 oil changes a quarter, would you give them to me at half price? Well, of course, the oil change owner said, yes, absolutely. We would love to partner with you to give cheaper oil changes to all of your staff. So then not only did he come back to the organization and have a discount available for his staff, but then he decided it was in his best interest to go ahead and pay for those discounted oil changes. So the staff were then getting $40 oil changes. The company only had to pay $20 per employee per quarter for those oil changes. And the company saw a reduction in the number of call-offs and no-shows because of car problems. This is a unique situation where you can find a win-win-win. So yes, it cost the company a little bit of money, but they saw the return on that. And this employer decided to use those free oil changes as a carrot on a stick because he had a lot of folks that weren't even making it to the 90-day mark. So he said, once you've been at our company for 90 days, you are then eligible to get free oil changes every quarter after that. He was able to keep people a little bit longer who might have left after 30 or 60 days because they saw this is a company who really gets me. This is a company who offers something that is of value to me. So I encourage you to take a look at those escape routes that we discussed and think about when people are leaving. Is it that 30, 60, 90-day time, or is it maybe after 2 or 3 years or 5 to 7 years? Another example on the other extreme end of this scenario is I had a client that had high subject matter expertise needed on his team, and they were very highly paid, very highly skilled folks. And so they couldn't afford to lose them after 4 or 5 years. They really needed to see them stay 6, 7, 8 years in order to keep the business expertise in-house and maintain all their clients. So they decided to offer a 30-day paid time off bucket that they extended to them. It didn't matter how much paid time off they had besides that. They got this new bucket of 30 days of paid time off, and it was a forced sabbatical. They were forced at the 7-year mark to leave the company for 1 month and go relax, go rejuvenate, go finish a home project that you've had on the back burner. They also threw in a 7-day, all expenses paid vacation for that person's family. Now, is that expensive? Absolutely. But those subject matter experts cost $100,000 or more to replace if they walk out the door. So if you've been there 4, 5, 6 years and you know that that sabbatical is hanging out there at the 7-year mark, it serves as a very effective carrot to keep those people a little bit longer. And then, do you think they left right after that sabbatical? Absolutely not. They were refreshed, they were rejuvenated, and they were really excited to be at a company that gave them that type of benefit. So then that company saw people stay another year or 2 or 3 years beyond that, which was extremely valuable to the organization. So figure out when people are escaping and then try to place new little carrots along their path. In fact, you don't have to think of them as one big giant carrot. Most of my clients decide to chop up that big giant carrot and place little baby carrots along the career path. They will give them small incentives. Now, I don't mean chopping up a 75-cent raise into nickels, but I will say a lot of lower wage workers very much care about opportunities to raise their wages every quarter or every 6 months. That is very important to them that they don't have to wait a full year to see some kind of benefit. If you can't do that through monetary means of an actual raise in pay, then consider other incentives, other little perks or bonuses or a new uniform, tickets to the zoo, anything that those folks might find valuable in their role. Take a very good look at your incentives and what you are doing to keep your people longer.